How do I explain to my friends that I'm not grieving for attention? Hello, Hayes. I'm 17 years old, and about 2 years ago, I lost my mom and grandmother within 6 months of each other. My problem is that my friends expect me to be through the grieving process, and because I'm not, they're leaving me out. Sometimes grief just hits me, and it takes a short while for me to act bubbly again. Something they've said spoils the mood when we're hanging out. I don't think they understand that I'm not dragging my grief out for attention. I've been told I should have seen it coming because they both had cancer, but I was blindsided. I'd like to address the problem with my friends, but I don't want them to feel attacked. I'm worried that I might come off aggressive and cost myself the friendship with the group. My goal is to keep my friends and feel seen and heard by them. Can you help me explain this in a way where they might understand? Yours, Grieving Girl. Hello, Grieving Girl. First thing, I'm so sorry to hear about your grandma and your mom. I understand why you feel blindsided, even if you knew that death was a possibility. Wouldn't it be wonderful if our brains worked in such a clear formula? If you know about it, then you'll be okay when it happens. Please. We're surprised by things all the time that we know about, and even all the planning in the world could not have prepared you for the gravity of this loss. Anyone who tells you that you should have seen it coming is cruel and wrong. I want you to know that it's okay you're still grieving. I don't think your grief will ever end, because grief is just a sister of love, and the love you have for your gram and your mom will always be in you. There were a few moments in my life when I lost friends because I was experiencing some major loss or depression. Feeling abandoned by friends in those times adds a whole new layer of loss to the pile. I didn't understand at the time. Why would my friends be so insensitive and exclusive when I was struggling? In retrospect, I see that it wasn't all their fault, though it was some of theirs. Some people, no matter their age or their life experience, just can't sit with other people in their pain. And when you're young, like you and your friends are, some of their behavior could just be chalked up to the fact that they don't have the emotional maturity to deal with these big feelings. But honestly, I see the same behavior as an adult too. I don't quite understand it, but almost everybody I know has lost friends when they've gone through something painful. Part of that is because we are changed people when we go through loss. You are not the same person as you were before your gram and your mom got sick. Everyone in your life, including you, has to get to know this new beautiful person that you are, who, yes, has experienced unimaginable pain, but also now has a richer understanding of love. Now, about addressing your friends. You say you want to feel seen and heard without costing yourself the friendship, but I have to ask you these two reflection questions. Do you want to address this issue because you believe in your friendship and think that your friends can be there for you? Or do you want to address the friendship because you're scared that if you don't, they'll keep excluding you and then you'll be left with no friends? And if that's the case, I want you to know that you do not need to be friends with people who say you're spoiling the mood when you're grieving. Part of this process you're going through, and it's unfair that you have to take on this burden in addition to your grief, but part of this process includes noticing that not everyone in our life is going to be as helpful and supportive as others. Like, sometimes we'll be grieving and we'll be sitting with someone hanging out and they're not really adding much. It's not that they're actively harmful or dismissive, but they're not really helping either. That type of person is fine to be friends or acquaintances with, but they're not going to be your North Star bestie, the person that you go to when you're really in pain. But if your friends have been actively dismissive, actively unhelpful, that's not something that you just need to accept. I see your future, love, and it's filled with friends who are patient and understanding and don't belittle your very real and very large loss. I also understand that you might not be ready or interested in finding a new group of friends right now, and that's okay. So if you want to keep trying with these ones, here's what I think. If grief hits you when you're hanging out, try to be proactive with them about what type of support you're looking for. Sometimes when we tell someone exactly how to support us, they rise to the occasion. Maybe it sounds like, hey, I just got really sad. Can I have a hug? Or maybe it's like, I need a minute. That song reminded me of my mom, and you don't have to say anything. Just sitting with me in silence helps. And if they ever say something unhelpful to you again, like you're spoiling the mood, I would probably first remove myself from the situation because I'm gonna need some space from that. And then I'd come back and say something like, I know my grief seems to come up randomly at times and that it can be kind of intense, but when you say things like I'm spoiling the mood, it makes me feel really misunderstood, and like you might think I'm doing this on purpose, but I'm not. I don't expect you to understand exactly what I'm going through. I'm still learning what I'm going through, but comments like that really hurt my feelings. And look, I'm gonna repeat myself. I know how scary it can feel to be like, time for new friends, but sometimes it's better to be alone than be with people who rob us of being ourselves. And you are not just a girl in grief, but it is a part of who you are right now. And again, your grief will always be with you. You deserve to be with people who see the full you, on the happy days, the sad ones, and everything in between. I love you, and I'm here for you. Thanks for listening to this episode of Hello Hayes. If you want to support this video advice column that I'm making, this community of wonderful, thoughtful people who want to help each other be better friends and better humans, give this a like and subscribe to my channel. Is there a better way to say that? If you want to connect with me and be a part of my little world, you can follow me on Instagram at afhayes. I share pictures and, more feelings there. It's mostly feelings. But if you just want to hang out here on YouTube, this is where I'm going to be every week.